a big theme of this, Dad, which you've just highlighted, is the word decision making.
Yeah.
You know, in the final third, sometimes we were passing when we should have been shooting. We went out wide when we should have been through the middle. We were going through the middle when we should have gone out wide. I think just that final decision again in that
Yeah.
final third was off, weren't it?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and we weren't quite. You know, we have clicked as a team, I think, in terms of at home at St.Andrews, we're making very good football, but away, there's just something missing, isn't there? Like,
It's going to have
I
to be
can't put-
fixed
yeah, yeah.
because based upon what we're doing at the moment, home and away, we are a mid-table team all day long.
So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. And on Wednesday evening, Birmingham City travelled to the Hawthorns, which finished in a 1-1 draw, which turned out to be a hard-fought point. Both teams lacked real quality in the final third, and it's clear from a Birmingham City perspective, our home form and performances just aren't matching up with those away performances. And Dad, we were in the car on the way home and you were scrolling social media and there was a pretty funny comment. It said, Brazil at home, Barnet away, didn't it?
It sums it up,
and
doesn't
it
it?
kind of
Yeah.
sums up where we are, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, very much so. So frustrating in terms of how can you play so well at home with the same players effectively, apart from one change, which we'll speak about in a moment, and then do that away. I know it's different away because the home team have the impetus, they've got the crowd and all that type of thing. But if you want to really sort of progress as a club, you've got to fix your away form. I was quite frustrated. I mean, I think up to about hour 65 minutes. I think we were. I think I can use the word really, really poor, even terrible, compared to what we've been seeing at home. Really disappointed. And I think in the end, it's only Albion's lack of ability to put chances away that stopped us losing that game. I think they had the best chances.
I think objectively, Dad, if West Brom put their chances away, we lose that game, don't we?
Without a doubt.
But
Yeah.
they just weren't. I mean, and West Brom fans had flooded the comments on social media afterwards. Typical Baggies, can't put chances away. So clearly, this is a pattern for West Brom that they're not able to put teams to the sword, which we can kind of relate to at Blues as well. But I think, as in previously from the 4-1 wins at home, the 4-0 and the 4 goals at home. But I think a big word for me is intensity.
Yeah.
And at home, we come straight out the traps. We're fast, we're quick, we move. And then away from home, we're just passive.
Yeah.
And not up for it. I mean, the amount of second balls West Brom were winning early days, the amount of times and space we allowed them to run with the ball, it was really disappointing. I mean, West Brom, Dad, they could have scored after 35 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right as well. I think it was as if they came out and West Brom had been told, by the way, this is a local derby, and Birmingham City hadn't. And that was it for me. You know, I think what you said there really, really good about intensity because that's what we lacked. And the competitiveness as well. You know, we were making sloppy mistakes, giving the ball away. Like that chance you mentioned at the very beginning, after 35 seconds, we took the kick off and it went back to Beadle and obviously got a tactic that he was going to knock it long. So all of our players went up, which they did, but we lost the ball. They broke, and they should have scored really. That Isaac Price, he missed some chances, didn't he? And he knocked it just over the bar. That was after 35 seconds. So that was a warning sign, wasn't it?
It was.
But one thing I think is a big problem, Matt, and I think why we're so exposed is because it appears that Awatt has been given a free role, but he's a right back. Now, we do want him in attacking positions. We want him as a goal threat. We want him as a provider in all those positions, but not to the detriment of that, because it's almost as if he's so much out of position when we get caught out. He's exposing Neumann desperately, and Neumann has looked really, you know, as if he's made some mistakes. But you've got players like two on one sometimes running against Neumann, who's running across to try and fill that right back position. That has to be fixed. That does, because better teams will destroy us. Yeah. Better teams will put those chances away. I mean, I'm thinking like we've got Southampton coming up away next.
I was at the gym the other night, Dad, and the Coventry Middlesbrough game was on.
Yeah.
But as it was on, it was giving me highlights of other games as well. And I was sitting there last night in the Hawthorns, and with their chances, I was thinking about the Southampton form they're in, maybe some of the Watford goals, Coventry goals. I was thinking better teams punish us 3-4 goals last night at the Hawthorns.
Yeah.
As in just better teams in front of goal because they weren't punishing us whatsoever. And I think you're right, Dad. Awatt was definitely our weak link to that extent in terms of it was leaving gaps at the back. But also, I thought their right back was their weak link as well. Every time Dimmy got the ball, he was destroying him.
Yeah.
And I kept saying, give it to Dimmy. And Patrick Roberts as well did quite well creatively out on the... I think Dimmy and Patrick Roberts actually do a very good job of making us move forward and creatively, and they do try and take their man on and get the ball in the box. They were trying to make things happen. And I just thought, we weren't, in my opinion... could be completely wrong on this. We weren't giving it down that road. Because if a team shows you a weakness, you exploit it.
Yeah.
And he was fragile, that right back for them. But clearly, our right side was a bit fragile as well, and West Brom exploited that as well. So
Yeah.
it was a game of two halves in that respect, in that, we sometimes came down and exploited theirs. They kind of exploited that water space down the back as well. But what was disappointing for me, Dad, was just that lack of desire and passion, which we've seen so well at home. That fight, that battle, that second ball, that closing them down. I mean, how many times, Dad, did their centre mid get the ball and drive it a good 25 yards?
Yeah.
And we can't deny it, Dad. I mean, we were going to touch on this earlier. We've kind of moved past it. Mark Leonard in the midfield, is immediately swapped for Paik.
I think that was a strange one, in as much as we all know Paik's a good player. We saw his injury against Middlesbrough, but what has Mark Leonard done wrong? And, like you mentioned to me, when we saw the team sheet, you said, why try and fix something that's not broken? It's worked really, really well.
Exactly.
And I think that's true, isn't it? So Mark Leonard must be thinking, what have I got to do here? I've been playing well, and he has been playing well. Great partnership with Tommy Doyle in the middle, and then Paik comes back. I mean, Paik had some good touches and did well. And there's no denying that Paik's a good player, but in my mind, to create a good competitive team for players that want to really, really improve and fight for the shirt, you say to them, that shirt is yours until you lose it.
Yeah.
And Mark Leonard deserved that shirt, in my opinion. And he didn't, and that was the only change. But
there's a few players that I think Chris Davies will play at almost any cost. And to be fair, there's two in particular. I think it's Water and Paik.
Well, you mentioned Water as the weak link, sort of,
in terms of creating gaps behind us.
So I don't think Water was the weak link. I think his instructions and the tactics were the weak link. He just happens to be in that position.
Yeah, that's
but that has to be fixed, because it's all right saying to a Water, okay, go and attack. But I say I felt a little bit sorry for Neumann. I know he had some bad touches. I mean, he was culpable for a few little mistakes, which we know about. But he's literally isolated, and it's only his pace that got us out of jail, really, because he obviously there's so much. How many times did they break down their left
in the second half? I can remember at least 3.
Yeah,
in the first half, 2 or 3 again. You're talking 6 chances for the West Brom,
and that's because Water is told to play high up the pitch
Yeah.
and to attack, basically. So if he's a tap-minded player, the question is, why is he in the right back position then? Obviously, he'll miss the next game now because he got booked, didn't he? So he'll miss the Watford game, Water. So I'm assuming that we'll see Bright Asai Samuel, which is a natural wing back, I would have thought, in that position. So maybe that's a chance to see how that would work
against a pacey team. That's not a bad option anyway. But we'll do a preview on that in the coming days. But you're right, Dad. Thought, to be fair and credit to them, I thought West Brom pressed us really well.
Yeah.
Their energy was good, wasn't it? I thought sometimes we got caught out a little bit due to their energy. I think you had a really good point earlier, actually. You mentioned about West Brom getting the brief that it was a local derby and Birmingham not getting that brief. It was like, I felt like their energy was a bit higher. Their press was a bit more powerful. And fair play, they didn't really relent. Because me and you were looking at each other, Dad, in the game about 20 minutes in going, they can't keep this up.
Yeah.
About in the second half, they're going to have to flag. But they didn't really stop. They were pretty relentless. And I thought they did cause us a few problems with that press. But I think what was disappointing for me, Dad, was that, just as I said, that lack of combativeness, the fact that we're not translating that sleek, sexy football at home to away. And I said on a different day, I think we come away with there with nothing.
I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think we can be satisfied with the points for that game.
To be fair, Dad, sorry to interject immediately, but I think as a positive, we said in the pre-video we would take a point.
Yeah.
And I still think you'll look back at that at the end of the season. I think that was a decent point. I think it's the way we got the point.
I'd rather get a point like that, though, because what I wouldn't want to do is batter them and then they get a goal and then, I mean, you'd rather get a point that way where you. I don't think we stole a point, because on the balance of play, I think we came good in the last 25 minutes. I think we had loads of chances. We had quite a number of good chances. So I think on the balance of play and chances, I think a draw was probably a fair result. But actually, they had the better chances, so they'll be more disappointed than us. I also think as well that Ducksh as well, until the goal, he was completely anonymous. He wasn't. The ball weren't sticky. As a number 10, you want a target man where the ball was sticky. It's as if the ball was being lumped up. He wasn't. He didn't even seem to be jumping for some of them, which I found was a little bit disappointing. But at the end of the day, he scored his goal, so you can't argue with that. But one thing I do find disappointing is that we get the ball wide, and then when we've got our bigger players in there, we play low crosses, and then we bring Kyogo on, we play high crosses. I mean, I mentioned to you as well, didn't I, Matt? I think at half time and during the game about our decision making. Sometimes it's really poor. And how many times, do we actually sort of play a through ball down the middle? It's always looking to go wide. There was a couple of opportunities yesterday. We were right behind the goal, weren't we? A couple of opportunities where you could have slid in Ducksh or Stano with the players coming forward. But instead, it's like, left, right. It's always
And
like
the
that.
one time we did do it, Paddy Roberts played in a Kyogo, and he did have a decent chance. It kind of went past that tip.
I went far off. Yeah.
He weren't a million miles off of being on target, but that was the difference it can make going through the middle, can't it? And I think a big theme of this, Dad, which you've just highlighted, is the word decision making.
Yeah.
In the final third, sometimes we were passing when we should have been shooting. We went out wide when we should have been through the middle. We were going through the middle when we should have gone out wide. I think just that final decision again in that final third was off, weren't it?
Yeah,
And we weren't quite. We have clicked as a team, I think, in terms of at home at St.Andrews, we're making very good football, but away, there's just something missing, isn't there? Like,
it's going to have to be fixed because based upon what we're doing at the moment, home and away, we are a mid-table team all day long. We're not going to get. We won't be in trouble as things stand at the moment, and we're going to struggle to meet the players. We have to improve our away form if we want to do anything to get nearer the top. And it's so tight in there because you look at the league table. I mean, there's about 4 or 5 points separating about 15 teams. It's ridiculous.
We still are only 3 points off fourth or something.
No,
it's mad, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. It's crazy, but as the season ticks on, those away performances are going to hurt you because you're not going to get the momentum to. And of course, if we were to drop points at home as well, in addition to that, we're not going to go anywhere, are we, this season? So we said this before. The away form is key, and that was disappointing for me for the first 70 minutes, 65, 70 minutes. And I was actually quite frustrated because you look at that and you think, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. You think that's not even like watching Birmingham City, the one that we've seen at home. You think, well, where's this team come from?
Yeah. It's like watching two different teams, isn't it?
It's absolutely ridiculous. I can't, it's crazy, isn't it? You would not believe if you were beamed down and you watched us at home to Norwich and then you would say, okay, here's another game here. You wouldn't relate the two teams. No. It's crazy.
Yeah, Dad, if you line up the Portsmouth game, the Millwall game and the Norwich game, and then you take like the game at the Hawthorns, the game at Middlesbrough, quite a few of our away games, it is quite literally like watching two different teams, isn't it?
It is.
The difference is vast.
It's hard to put your finger on, isn't it? Really, about why you would do that. Because if I'm Chris Davies, I would. My team talk at the beginning would. Play like you're at home. That's it. Off you go.
Yeah, play like
Off you go. And then
5-word team talk. That's it, though, isn't it?
Yeah. So save yourself the breath and just tell them that. But it's really, really weird. I mean, as you mentioned, there was a lot of things wrong with the way we initially started. I think they were much more intense than us. They were much more up for it. We were losing second balls. I think it is a problem with the number 10. The number, like when we had Yuki, we had a target man. The ball would stick to him, wouldn't it?
Hold it up well.
He would hold it up well. But we were like, I mean, Beadle was kicking the ball as well. It's sometimes just straight to their goal.
This was frustrating. This was frustrating. I felt sometimes the goalkeepers were playing just long passes to each other. Yeah, exactly. Because both goalkeepers were whacking it up and no one was doing anything with it. But from Blues, Dad, we're not that kind of team anymore. There's no point in putting it in the air to Stansfield or Kyogo or Patrick Roberts or Dimmy or any. What's the point?
No.
They're going to lose their headers 9 times out of 10. They're quite small.
Yeah.
We're not a big team. We're not a physical team, really. We do have moments of bite and aggression. We can match the big teams in terms of for that fight and battle. But we're not a tall team. We're not a big team. Playing it in the air is pointless a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, when Beadle was doing that, I thought it was quite disappointing because you give it them straight back.
Yeah, I would like to see us. For me, I'd like to see us play more down the middle as well.
I agree.
I think the instructions are get it wide whenever you can. But we have had loads of opportunities. I can think of loads of games this season, home and away, where we've had our players running through, and instead of passing them through, the ball goes left or right. Because I think that's the instructions. I think we just need to be a little bit more intelligent in our front positions. Decision making needs to be better. But also, what do you think, Matt? As well, I mean, I think from the referees, I thought the referee was awful. For both teams, it wasn't just us. I think we had 2 clear-cut handballs that for me, could have been given. I think they had a penalty that could have been given as well.
He booked 2 of our players, and the West Brom players did 2 mirror image challenges and no cards.
And that's the consistency.
It's the consistency shocking.
But you think, and also as well, there's 2 Stano in the first half and Doyle in the second half. The referee got in the way and just let the play go on. Literally obstructed the players, and they were going through on goal. So I thought the refereeing was poor, and they had that issue at the start of the second half where something wrong with their communication, and that caused about a 10-minute delay, didn't it?
Yeah.
So I agree. I thought the refereeing was poor. As I say, if Albion fans are watching this as well, I look back at their potential could have been a penalty, towards the end of the game.
Clara and
was pulled down. I think he had his arm. But
I think it would have been a soft penalty.
Yeah,
you do see him given, don't you?
Yeah, on their goal, Matt, as well. I mean, obviously, it came from a second phase of a long throw, didn't it?
Disappointing again.
It was almost, to me, it's like a mirror image of the Middlesbrough goal that we conceded. With Hayden Hackney, but Hayden Hackney deflected it. It looked like at first glance, it looked like a deflection, but it looked like he just hit it and it went in. But this is the problem you see when you have a player shooting from the edge of the box and nobody's closing him down. That ball, and it's shown, it can go anywhere and it ends up in the back of your net, and that's disappointing.
Yeah. This is why we say constantly, isn't it? Shoot on sight, shoot on sight. You could take a deflection, it could hit the bar. There's so many different options. And West Brom have proved if you shoot on sight, you can score because it half Clara, didn't it?
Yeah, but it's a disappointing goal for us to concede.
It was disappointing. The first ball was lost, the second ball was lost, too much space, shot and goal. I mean, from a defensive point of view, it was really poor.
Yeah,
really poor. You can't be allowing teams to have that much space, and I think that was a theme in the first half and second half throughout the game. Really, is we were giving them too much space on the ball. You cannot allow players to drive 20, 25 yards. It's unacceptable in my opinion. And again, no disrespect to West Brom here, but if you get a team with their finishing boots on, we'd have been in trouble last night. And it's that thing, isn't it? You have to be better at closing your man down. This is a higher level.
Well, but like I say, it's absolutely crucial, Matt, is we have to sort out that right back position, because if Tomoki Iwata is being given a free role, which he appears to have been given, it is going to leave us exposed at the back. So what do we do there? So that needs to be sorted out, because you can't give teams that much space, because they did literally. I mean, how many goals should they have had from going down the right? I can think of 2 or 3 the good chances that came from that their left, our right, and that's because Tomoki was up front. I'd say it's not about him being a bad player. It's not. It's about his instructions and about the team tactics.
Agreed.
So they had a few chances, but so did we. I mean, towards the end of the game, we had that a double shot, one from Stano, and then it fell to Tomoki, and they're both fair decent blocks by the goalkeeper. And then we had that Kyogo chance near the end as well. And that one as well, that was really frustrating, because we were right behind it, is where Stano broke down the left, and he should have shot. He was literally in a shooting position, but he dinked it across for Patrick Roberts, and it went past him, didn't he? But, I think Stano will look back on that and wish he'd taken a shot, because he should have troubled the goalkeeper with that.
Also, Dad, for what it's worth, Stansfield isn't immune to criticism as well. And his first touch last night was awful.
Oh yeah.
He couldn't get the ball under his feet. He kept spooning it, and And what I don't like to see as well, Stano isn't a dribbling kind of player. He kept trying to, not kept on, but a couple of times he tried to beat his man in a dribbly kind of way. I was like, he's not that kind of player.
No, he needs a through ball.
A through ball. I think maybe he was getting a little bit frustrated and trying to make things happen, which I do get. As a striker, sometimes it can be lonely when you're not getting that reception.
His work rate, as always, is unquestionable.
Of course.
He saved that one, didn't he? It was like a defensive tackle down the other end.
No, Dad, I'm not. I would never knock Stansfield's work rate. He's phenomenal, and he runs that front line endlessly. But if we're going to be objective here and unbiased, his touches and his sort of link-up play was really poor.
And I think, Matt, that sums up the first 60, 65 minutes. Him and Ducksh were not able to keep the ball.
No.
It was like not sticking to them. They were getting caught in possession.
Yeah.
And that was the big problem as well. And if we don't keep the ball, we can't build. And they were winning it back in midfield and recycling it.
Yeah. The word I used, Dad, for the past 4 home games, I've used the word fluid. Really sexy football, quick, short passes, little flicks, little dinks. It was the complete opposite last night, weren't it? Really clunky, bad passing, bad decision making, bad touches. And when you add all those components into the mix, you get a really sloppy, dishevelled performance, don't you? And I felt like we just weren't the typical Blues last night. It's that away form.
What's disappointing as well, Matt, it was a local derby, and you think that the players would want...
the fight.
And it was that as well. I mean, we were being beaten to the second ball virtually every time by West Brom, and that was frustrating, because in a derby you just don't do that. Even if you don't win the tackle, you put the tackles in and stuff like that. But that was really disappointing. But at the end of the day, Matt, we come away with a point. And I think Albion fans will feel aggrieved that they didn't put some of their chances away, because realistically, and if you are looking at it bluntly, honestly, they should have won that game. Given the chances. We had chances as well, but they had better chances, and they just couldn't put them away. I noticed as well that towards the end of the game, which I thought was a strange sub, Ryan Mason brought Bielek on, which I thought was quite a strange decision at the time. But anyway, that's not for us, that's for Albion fans to deal with. But
I think Albion fans have said that about Mason a lot. He makes some strange substitutions.
Well, he does. I know the stats. I know you're not a big fan of stats, but
it's just the shot stat that I hate.
57% possession we had with that, but we've said in previous games that we are better giving up possession, and I think that's the problem away. We need to give up more possession away, I think, and allow the other opposition to have the ball more rather than focus on the actual possession. We only have 4 shots on target, but so this is showing that based upon the stats that the game was close. Is that we had 14 shots, they had 13, but both of us only have 4 on target. And I think that sums up why it was a draw in the end because
Yeah.
you know we there was not much between the teams really.
To be honest with you, I thought it was quite an exciting game, but really low quality game. So like both teams had some decent chances, and like it was quite end to end. Would you argue in terms of like
Yeah, yeah.
box chances quite regularly, but the quality was poor from both teams. So no teams really made an impact in the final third. It was quite an interesting game to watch for the first time this season. Dad, both teams were going at each other, creating some chances, but no teams really had that killer instinct, did they?
I'll tell you what was really good quality. That steak burger just outside the ground.
You've been dying to get that, haven't you?
Oh my word, yeah, that's nice. That was nice, wasn't it?
It was. To be fair, it's almost a perfect way to end it on the positive of a burger. But yeah, any final thoughts, Dad?
Well, just on the way out. I mean, it's an awful stadium to get out of as well, isn't it?
That long walkway. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about getting out the stadium.
Oh, right.
Everybody's filtered just to a couple of entries. It's ridiculous. It is really. But we're queuing up for ages. To
Yeah,
get out.
but we'd barely cleared, and the whole West Brom home ends has been completely cleared out.
I
haven't
know,
they?
it's absolutely
Anyway.
crazy. But just my final thing, we spoke to a chap called Dave as we were queuing up to get out, and he'd driven all the way from Norfolk. So he had a 3.5, 4 hour journey home after that as well. So I just thought I'd give him a mention and well done for driving that far.
No, that's kudos, isn't it? That's a fair play. That is,
game.
yeah,
But
yeah.
onto the next game. So we've got Watford at home on Monday, and we've got to be better than that.
Yeah. Because we're at home, Dad, it doesn't worry me. But
yeah.
Watford can't be underappreciated or undervalued, so I think they're going to give us a good game as well. But yeah, I think we'll end it there, Dad.
Yeah,
So as we did say in the pre-Dad, we would take a point coming away from that, and we have.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It wasn't the best quality in the final third game, a little bit dishevelled, but
It just shows us where we are.
Yeah,
Matt. Realistically, that
away
game
from home.
shows us where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. But as always, Birmingham City supporters, we would love to hear from you. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And West Brom fans, maybe you saw the pre-video, maybe you tuned in for the first time. We'd love to hear from you as well. If you did like this video specifically, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and check us out on our social media channels. We have an X page, an Instagram page, and we're also over on Spotify, so you can listen and watch us over there. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and press that bell icon so you get notified every time we post. And myself and Dad will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.